Hey y'all, it's Chimdi from my new apartment. So this is the first time in a while that I've just gone live on YouTube without any kind of thinking about it or planning. Normally, I pick a date and a time, I make a little thumbnail, I have some idea of a topic, and then I'll let people know like, hey, I'm going live, just so they have a chance of hopping into the chat with me and talking. And I'm watching how to edit on DaVinci Resolve. I'm a Premiere Pro girly, but as a part of my coaching practice, I want to be really good at leveraging all types of editing software. So I was like, all right, let me get into DaVinci Resolve. It's also free. I actually paid for it because I want to have all of the options, but you can do a lot for free. And so I'm watching this like 4.5 hour tutorial on how to edit on DaVinci Resolve. And I remembered this part of me that was like, didn't we say we were just gonna hop on YouTube with like no editing and like no preamble and no bells and whistles and just be here? And I was like, yeah, let's do that. And so that's what I'm doing. Feel free to say hello, by the way. I don't see the names of anybody, I just see the numbers. So if you actually want to chat, feel free to say hi. And so I want to reflect on, letting creation be easy and all these like small little hoops we make ourselves jump through, these ideas we have in our head about the way things have to be. And what a blessing it is to just be like, no, I actually could be updating YouTube right now. Like it literally is just pressing a series of buttons and here I am creating content for YouTube. And part of what's kept me from creating consistently in this month of February, one is moving. So my last live, I moved into this apartment. I'm still in Mexico. I just moved to a different neighborhood. But the process of moving, it takes a lot of emotional energy. So just kind of packing up all my stuff and moving here and getting settled and going on the emotional roller coaster of like, this apartment's pretty great. And here are all these ways that it's really like expanding what I thought was possible for myself. And here are all these things that I are kind of bothered by. And it's kind of also activating the part of me that's like, are you just going to put up with that? Are you just going to settle for things that aren't what you want? Do you not believe God can help you and create something better for you? And it's just like, I don't want to move again. I just got here. So all of that is happening, right? And then the other reason I haven't been as active is because I launched this new program and I made it a beta test and basically limited who could join. So the folks who essentially already had worked with me or knew my coaching style in some way. Because I think you get this from watching my videos, but I like to go deep, all right? I like to get emotional, right? We're gonna get spiritual. So we're really doing these deep dives. And because it was gonna be this smaller group and it was gonna be an intensive just for this month of February, and it's the topics around the money shadow, I really wanted people who basically had already spent time with me on a call so they knew like when the energy is right, you will start weeping, right? And you have the capacity, the interest and the capacity to go there and really get the transformation of being in this program. And so that launched, I kind of was creating it in the week leading up to the 1st of February. And then it officially kicked off on the 1st. And so I've been doing these like weekly calls on Saturday, but also, sending voice notes and like being in communication with the group of folks in the Telegram community. So that just takes a lot of my attention and energy. And of course, because it's a new thing, I want it to be really valuable. And then simultaneously hosting weekly Hello Creator calls on Wednesdays and doing like consulting for other companies and stuff. And then also just like enjoying my life and going to the beach and doing my morning walks and like, making my lasagna inspired pasta. And I got into loose leaf tea. So I met this woman. I went to this yoga event and I met this woman who was here in Playa and she was heading out. And she was like, hey girl, I'm heading out. Do you want a bunch of my stuff, So groceries and things like that. One of the things she was like, BT dubs was a whole French press, which I've never used before because I'm not a coffee drinker. So now I'm a loose leaf tea girl. And I also want to credit Sao Hong Shu, AKA Red Note for this because goji berries, loose leaf tea, all these things are thanks to this random app that I downloaded when we thought TikTok was actually going to go somewhere. And it's really been enriching my life. And I have An air fryer. I'm an air fryer girly now. If you know me in real life, you know about my air fryer. I have brought it up. I have brought it up to every single person I've spoken to. I'm like, by the way, do you know I have an air fryer? It's been a game changer for me. And it's one of those things that you don't really realize the way your living situation and your space is influencing how you think until you are in a different situation. Because I've been in Mexico for months, right? And the reason I never bought an air fryer, as much as I've always wanted one, is because I was like, well, I'm moving, I gotta fit things in my suitcase, all these excuses for not having something that would bring me a lot of joy. And I love the apartment I used to stay in. It was like super modern, super nice. Even though it was a studio, it felt super open and spacious and it was light filled. And it was a little bit removed from like the beach. I'm much closer to the beach now. But I was happy to just keep living there. And I feel like God was like, baby girl, I have more for you. And not just an apartment that's closer to the beach, but these long held dreams of having an air fryer, they will soon be yours. And so it has been such a blessing to be here. And it's literally been like 2 weeks. And I'm really curious to see what happens next. Also, I have a client call at 3:30 Eastern. So in about 11 minutes. So I basically was like, let me hop on here on YouTube and chat for a little bit before I connect with my client. So yeah, just this ease of creating and how it's just so much nicer. It's just so much nicer. And so much, it allows you to be a lot more emergent in what you're sharing. And one thing that came up as I was talking to the folks in my Money Shadow group was how, we work with people who are ready to work with us and when there's a match. And part of why I also haven't been uploading on YouTube, besides being busy, is that I don't have the time right now for more one-on-one clients. So folks could join the Hello Creator calls, of course, but I kind of think about YouTube from a place of like marketing and promotion, so even though I'm sharing about my journey and what I've been through, what I've learned and what I'm reading, the implicit and explicit reason is like, hey, I am this one-on-one coach. So put some time on my calendar. And when I don't have availability on my calendar, I'm kind of like, well, why would I like market something that folks can't buy? Oh, Sylvia's here. Hi, Sylvia. How are you doing? Where are you calling in from? And so that's part of why I haven't been here is I'm like, I don't want to promote this beautiful energy if you can't get it up close. And I realized, one, I'm in the process now. I have basically the seed has been planted of the next stage in my journey. Oh, Diop is here. So Diop is the person who charged me a lot of money to make a custom dress for this wedding I went to a couple years ago, back when I lived in New York. And I haven't really gotten over how much money it cost compared to how much it could have cost. And that's my work, as we go through these money shadows, that is my work to do. Sylvia's from Philly. Go Eagles. Congratulations. You're so close to Kendrick Lamar. I love that for you. By the way, I am that person who is like streaming Kendrick all day and all night to help him get to those numbers of being like the first rapper to cross like 100 million streams, like monthly streams. I was a part of that. I've been listening to him nonstop. I do not care about football, so I can't meet you on the Eagles stuff, but I can definitely meet you in the halftime show stuff. I've been on TikTok. I've been reading about the subliminal messages, okay? The triangle was upside down, all right? We are meeting the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and we are coming together for the revolution. Yeah, I'm in. I'm in, Kendrick. Also, just in general, you know how you hear a song a lot, so you think you know what it's about? It is such a different thing to read the lyrics of a song while you are listening to it. And I did that a few times with Kendrick's music. And I was just like, it really was activating me. Like I had to pause and just like feel. So I strongly recommend it. Yeah, so I'm back because I've realized I don't have to limit how I show up based on my business. I get to just keep showing up. And that in general, like the process of showing up and building community with people and giving a chance for us to just like hang out and talk is very much like paving the road for all this future stuff down the line. So that's why I'm here. And it's so much easier than editing a video, than editing a video. Like, I love to learn and I'm excited to learn how to edit with DaVinci Resolve. And it is actually unnecessary, especially for what is really exciting to me right now in my journey, which is all of this spiritual stuff. And I think where I'm at in my journey is like, I did all this inner work and did all this trauma healing to get to the point where I could, create on YouTube and I could, build this coaching business and I could support people one-on-one. And what I've noticed is that, I use being a YouTube creator as like the hook to bring people into coaching, but very consistently, the people who are attracted to my coaching are themselves leaders and entrepreneurs and coaches and consultants. And so they're attracted to me because I've been able to speak about like my spiritual journey and these kind of larger ideas about being divinely led and leveraging divine energy as you create. And then they take these same ideas and then pour it into the businesses they already have or are developing. And I really am inspired by that each one teach one model where it's like, I've come to these insights, I've learned these things, and now I want to share it with the next person so that they can, again, create a container. People can come in and they can spread this knowledge. And it does feel like we're basically waking each other up. Like it's just, there's this awakening that's happening on the planet that I think we all know about. I say we all know about it, right? And I think the way it happens in real life is everyone who is like, holy crap, there's this thing going on. Here's what I'm learning and expanding and realizing about myself and all these things. We're sharing it and spreading it. And I think sometimes we think it's going to be our leaders who are going to change things, right? The systems are going to they're going to realize that things got to change. But the reality is that it starts here in our heart. It starts in our body. It starts in our communities. It starts in our relationships. And then it spreads. And then the entire system is changed in that way. And so it feels really cool to have this clarity around the role I'm playing in creating this like transformational, like planetary shift. And it also is not something I normally talk about in that way on my YouTube channel. And I realized that part of me continuing to attract clients who are super aligned is that I am very clear and I'm consistent about speaking about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, how I'm doing it. So anyone who isn't a match, they can, exit. And the folks who are like, yes, I'm on the same wavelength. This is what I'm up to. I'm like, yes, let's get into it. And it's really cool because the group I created, it's 5 of us in the Money Shadow group. And everyone is just like getting along so well. And there's all this like conversation, all this engagement. And one of my clients mirrored to me is that like the people who are attracted to me get along with each other. And I do think that is because there is this sort of like frequency alignment. And so for people to be able to mesh with each other, it's because they've done a certain level of their own inner work. And they have that capacity to be open to going further and to learning from other people and being self-directed, like self-driven in their growth, right? Because sometimes some people, things have to get really bad before they start making a change. And other people are just inherently driven to grow and expand and get better and better. And I think especially as like a coach, but also as a facilitator, it is like pulling teeth to work with people who don't care and are not motivated. And it is heaven to work with people who are so excited and are so motivated, and you really are just helping them along, right? So I'm feeling a lot of gratitude right now in my journey. And also just for the life I had. I actually was reflecting with a friend of mine because some things were coming online around my like childhood experiences and like the depth of what I experienced because of Kendrick Lamar. He's got a song where he talks about how he went from like staying at a motel with his family to having an estate where he's doing cartwheels. And in hearing him say that, like I remembered a time where my family stayed at a motel for, I think it was a couple of days. But that's the thing with being young, your brain is filtering your life in a way that allows you to survive. So I actually have no idea. It could have been a day. It could have been a week. Who knows, right? And when I heard him say that, I was like, whoa, like it really. And what I connected to was when I look at my life and what I've been able to create and the fact that I'm going live on my YouTube channel in Mexico, then I'm going to be talking to my one-on-one client after, and I've got this like safe, beautiful, nice home, and I've got all this money and all this this shift I've been able to create. I think not having felt the extent to what I went through as a kid means that I haven't been able to also give myself enough credit for how far I've come. So I'm kind of taking it either not even taking it for granted, but just in that comparison of like, well, it could be even better, or I'm not where I want to be yet. And part of that is because I haven't really processed what I've been through. And if I really was like, girl, given where you were, where you are now is very incredible, I think it would really put things in perspective. And as my friend was saying, like there's such a wisdom to what we filter out, what we allow in, what we see, how we tell our story, so that we can keep moving forward and get to the point where we can, reflect. So much is good in our life that we can be like, oh, let me contemplate, right? I have enough spaciousness that on my morning walk down the beach in the sun with my hat, I can just contemplate my life, right? And I stayed up late because I didn't have any calls until 3:30 in the morning or 3:30 in the afternoon. And I got to just wake up on no alarm, and just be in my life and just contemplate. And that is such a gift. Like that alone is such a gift. And I continue to think it's wild that I ever even pretended I was going to work 8 hours a day, because that is insane. Like 8 out every day? No. When I work 5 hours in a day, I'm like, I need to go co-regulate with the moon. I actually need to sit on the beach, and I need to feel the entire sea. And I need to like let my energy be restored. And that's 5 hours once a week. So what a journey. All right, I'm gonna go talk to my client. Hope y'all had fun. I'm gonna start doing this regularly. May or may not actually give y'all a heads up. Just assume I won't. Just stay ready. All right, y'all, stay ready. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.